Okay, so we have successfully put together our online pizza delivery menu system using WP Pizza plugins, free plugins, plus we showed you how to do the premium plugins for PayPal and also to add ingredients. Now, unfortunately, this is not looking all that great. It's functional. As an example, if I click on pizza and I come here, I can certainly add ingredients, and I can go to the card and I can add extra ingredients to the left side, to the right side. That's part of the premium plugin. By the way, if you don't have the premium plugin, please contact me. I have a bundle offer for all 4 premium plugins you'll need. So if I add this to the course, if I add this to the card, I should say, everything's working correctly. But this site is far from over because we need to add some graphics, we need to add some slideshows, we need to add a logo, and also we need to make this ready for mobile device. It's all included in this all-access course for this online takeout menu from WordPress, and it's also part of my all-access course that you can get from thinklearnearn.partners from one of my all-access students. That's the only place to buy and get a discount coupon on selective courses and my all-access bundle where you get lifetime access or yearly access depending on what you sign up for. So let's get started with this. So what we're going to cover in this particular module is how to basically create our slideshow totally from scratch. I'm going to use Adobe Fireworks because Fireworks is the best program for doing this. It creates vector graphic and it's also PNG graphic. PNG is friendly, where Illustrator and Photoshop you have to basically take the plane to the train to the boat to the moat. So let's crack our knuckles and let's get started and see how we can do this. Setting up adding graphics in a slideshow and eventually turning this into a mobile device for iPhone, iPad, Galaxy, etc., etc. Now I want to be very careful not to give you bad information. If you're going to take images from the web and use it on a commercial website, make sure you have permission to use those graphics. This is for training demonstration purposes, so to keep it simple, I just did a quick search for pizza graphics, and I'm going to take this graphic and either right-click or control-click Macintosh, right-click Windows. I'm going to copy that, and now I'm going to go into Fireworks. Now, if you're not aware of this, Fireworks works similar to exactly how Photoshop thinks. I'm going to make myself a new file. Notice when I made a new file, it's going to make my document size the same size that I copied from the web. So whatever you copy to your clipboard, Command-C, Control-C, and make a new file in either Photoshop or Fireworks, it will make that file the same size. But in this particular case, that's not what I want to do. I want to create a slideshow that's 1280 wide by 320. Now, you can do 960, 1280. I found out this works the best. And everything's just going to have a white background, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, of course, if you know anything about me, we're going to save the file, so let's go ahead and save this file, and I'll come right back. Now, the advantage of working with Fireworks is that Fireworks' file priority is PNG, which means it saves as a PNG file. PNG is a web publishable, PSD file, web publishable. PSD files and AI files in Illustrator and Photoshop are not, so therefore you have to export them. The advantage of Fireworks, you can just basically do one thing, save your pages, and I'll share with you how to do this. So I'm just going to paste this graphic into place, and it's too big, so the first thing I want to do is Command-Shift-T for transform, Command-Shift-T, Control-Shift-T for Windows. I'm going to knock this down to about 55%, and I can just move this into place. Now, if this is really too big for your liking, I'm just going to take this and maybe make this just a little bit smaller. I could do this again one of two ways. Command minus zooms out so I can see more of the picture. So at this point, I can just hit Command T and just make this scalable. Hit the return key, and I'm just going to use this part of the piece. In fact, that's a little too big. I'm going to use that whole piece right there because I'm going to put the text right there. Make a change, save a change. I'm going to hit the T for typing tool. And I'm just going to hit type with the word pizza. So T for type, P-I-Z-Z-A. Now, whatever font you want to use, it's up to you. Little production technique. Command-Shift greater than. Command-Shift greater than makes it bigger. Command-Shift less than makes it smaller. So I'm going to keep this really, really simple. I'm just going to increase the size of this. And I'm just going to change this to white. And I want to put a drop shadow and save the changes. Now, if you know anything about my training, I like to work smart. I don't like to reinvent the wheel. I'm a lazy guy when it comes to production. I want to learn every little tip, every little shortcut, every little nuance to make my life easier. What do I mean by that? Well, I want to build a series of graphics in Pages. So if I pull up my pages, what I want to do here is simply call this pizza. So therefore, when I export it, it's going to be a pizza based on my file format. So right now, as an example, my file format will be JPEG quality because that's how I have this set up for export. And this is called pizza. Now, I don't want to reinvent the wheel here. So what I can do is I can take this and drag this down to my new icon. I'm going to double click in here and call that pasta. So therefore, I would just now go to the web and get some pasta, but I already have my graphics in place. So let's go to the web and let's pick some pasta. Say that 5 times fast. Now, in picking and finding graphics, I'm not going to spend much time on this, but definitely pick a graphic that supports the somewhat dimensions of what you're trying to do here. So in this particular case, this dimension here is 800 wide. Let's take this. In fact, you know what? I like this one better. I'm going to right-click, Control-click, copy that. I'm now going to go into Fireworks. Now, for those of you that are on Macintosh, a little production technique, if I hit Command-Tab right now, I can go right to Fireworks. So Command-Tab goes to my browser, Command-Tab goes right into Fireworks. And right now, I'm in the second page right here. So now all I have to do is delete the graphic, paste pasta back in there. And again, I would typically have the size that it's going to the correct size here, but I'm just going to go with this right now. I'm not going to split hairs. I'll just do that. And I want to send this to the back. And an easy way to send to the back is Command or Control down arrow key. And that sends that to the back. And I'm going to call this pasta. Make a change, save a change. And now when I hit Command Tab and go back to, before I do that, I'm going to take pasta. I'm going to drag this down to here. And our next category would be, so let's make, I'm not going to do every category for our website. I'm just going to give the understanding. So we'll call this salads. And if I can learn how to spell, that'd be a good thing. Now, if you want to be totally lazy, you can just copy the word salad and therefore paste it right there. Now, I did a lowercase salad, but so what? So I'll just make that uppercase right there. And here's the cool part. Now, when I go back to my web, and now I can just paste salads. See, why reinvent the wheel? It's already been typed once. Don't type it again. So here's my salads and what type of salad that I want to put here. So again, if you know anything about how I teach, it's all about production techniques. I've been doing this for 27 years. If there's a faster, better way to do this, these are the courses for you. I get you involved in the thinking process. I don't cyber geek. I talk very plain, simple English and take it one step at a time. So let's go back into our pages. So here I have pasta, pizza, pasta, salad. So inside of salads, I'm going to select that, delete that, paste this back in, and Command T and make this bigger. Now you get the idea for this. So I'm going to do a couple other slides, and it's really the same type of thing, Command minus, and that salad's all set up. So let's just do one more. Let's do desserts. I'm going to go to pages. I'm going to drag this down to here. I'm going to double click in here and call that desserts. And I can just copy the word desserts, and I can put desserts right here with a capital D to be consistent. So therefore, when I go Command Tab back to my browser, I can just paste desserts. See, if there's a quicker way to do things, I mean, time is money, but see, once you got to get this into your thinking, it's very, very simple. It's really simple. If you get into the habit of how I teach, you'll be way, way ahead of the curve. So I'm going to go with this one here, and I'm going to copy that, right-click, Control-click, copy, Command-Tab back into Fireworks, select this, and paste. Actually, what just happened there, maybe it didn't copy because I wasn't paying attention. Control key, copy image, Command Tab, back to Fireworks, and paste. Now that was very strange. Why did it do that? Okay, I don't want to go to somebody's website here. Well, this is a bizarre one because according to this is 2,500 pixels wide, which is really just perfect. So let's do this again. I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to go back into Fireworks and paste. Okay, let's just go with this. I'm not going to spend time with that. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, send it to the back, and we're all set. Now, here's the fun, cool part, and this is just working smart with the program. we name these pizza, pasta, salads, desserts. So therefore, when we export these pages, I could do this in one shot. I will have a pizza, pasta, salad, dessert JPEG file that we can take and make into a slideshow. So look how simple this is. Now, you really need to pay attention, because if you miss this step, it's not going to work. Anything about the files under the file menu. Based on these choices, file export. So based on these choices, let's go ahead and put this inside of a folder. So I'm going to call this takeout menu slides. Now here's what I typically do. Your client's probably going to have many revisions, so we're going to put this into a subfolder simply called batch 1. Again, when I teach, I like to teach real world production techniques. So let's just call this slides B1 for batch 1. Now here's the part you want to pay attention to. I want to export these as pages, which we have over here to the right, pages to files. And I don't want it the export button. I want to pay attention to what I'm doing based on these choices. So I want to export these as images, but not the current page, all the pages. So therefore, when I export that just like that, make a change, save a change, those files are now there. So to demonstrate that, if I go into my takeout slides, you'll see that it exported those 5 pages as graphics. So it's a big time saver. I didn't have to create a file and export it, create a file, export it, create a file. It's automatically done. So in the next video, we'll import these slides into our Ultimatum theme to bring into our menu website. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're back here. Now, once again, I'm just going to share with you a little technique here. I'm going to take this copy, Command T, for QuickTag Editor, and I'm going to, actually in this particular case, I do want to log into the site. So here I am logged in, Command T, so I have 2 windows. I have a front end and a back end. So it is important to have both. This way you don't have to, you can save some time. So we're going to change this around. We're going to add some graphics. We're going to add a logo. We're going to do everything in the course of the course. Say that, of course, 5 times, of course. All right, so here's what we need to do based on these choices. Let's go to the back end, and we'll go to our dashboard. And of course, this is just a WordPress thing. Now, in order to make this next step work, here's what you'll need to do if you're using the Ultimatum theme. And if you don't have the Ultimatum theme, guess what? I just happen to have discount coupons for the Ultimatum theme, which are actually, if you sign up for my courses, a lot of the software comes with the courses. So it depends on the plan that you pick. Say that 5 times fast. Now, here's an important step here. You'll notice that I can't put slideshows in here. It says, wait a second, I thought you could do slides in Ultimatum theme. Well, yes, you can. So what I need to do, if you haven't done this already, you need to go to your settings properties, and under advanced settings is something called extras. And under extras, there's slideshow and shortcodes, which I want to benefit from both of these based on these choices. Software simply comes down to choice. My training is very, very easy. I get you to think about how the software thinks. So I take this here, I put this on, I save these changes, and lo and behold, if I pick anything or if I refresh my page, if I go to my dashboard, you'll now see that I have something called slideshows. Now again, that's only available if you turn those properties on under the settings. I'm going to go to slideshow and add new slideshow. Now we can call this anything we want. We're just going to call this main slider. If you want to call it main slider batch 1, batch 2, totally up to you. So I'm going to select right here. I'm going to upload files. Now I can do this one of 2 ways. I can drag the files from my, I could drag the files right onto my interface here. But in this particular case, I'm just going to go pick those files inside of batch 1. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key and I'm going to select all those files. Now, here's a very important step before we go any further. Notice that these are titled correctly, but for SEO purposes, and this is where I don't want you guys and gals to be lazy. If you're going to do a website, do the best job you can with SEO as well. Anytime you get the opportunity to fill in this information here, word salad it up, no pun intended, but put information because that's going to help you with the search engine. So don't just put desserts, put more information about that particular picture or photo, etc., etc. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to share with you in your practice time or as you're putting together this project. Anytime you're given the opportunity to fill in a dialog box with text, don't be lazy and definitely follow through. Now in this particular case, the image is 1280 by 320, and that's totally fine for what we want to do. I'm going to select. Now, if you want to change the order of this, which say that you do, so you want pizza to come up first, which is always a good idea. Pizza should always come up first. And then I want to have my desserts come up second. No, that's not true. I'm going to have my pasta come up second and my salads come up third. Although, according to my girlfriend, 21 years, salad should be coming up first. But we're just going to go with that and publish that. Now, again, you have to start to think how the theme thinks, what it expects from you, what the software wants from you. So understand what we just did. We went into Ultimatum and we turned on the property settings to allow the slideshow to exist, which it does. And we just added images to our slideshow by making a new slideshow, and we updated it. So that took those files and put it on the server. Well, if that's all true, I have a slideshow, I have images, so I should be able to go to the front of my menu and I should be able to see a slideshow. Well, I can't see a slideshow. Why can't I see a slideshow? What have I done wrong? Do I have a virus? Do I have a faulty teacher? Am I have totally lost my mind? Have I not been paying attention? Well, here's the issue here. Is the Ultimatum theme is based on template, layout, rows, articles, widgets. So let's understand what we don't have. So we can do that very simply by going to Edit Layout. And inside of our Edit Layout, well, we do have a place to put our slideshow, but we don't have a slideshow widget there. So again, I just went to the front end. Let's do this again. I just went right to the front end under Theme Management, Edit Layout. And that's the layout we created in previous videos. So I'm going to take this based on these choices. I'm going to drag up the Ultimatum slideshow, and I'm going to put the Ultimatum slideshow right here. Now, if you recall from previous videos, one of the things we did when we inserted this row, we inserted a row that supported a full width slideshow. So as an example, we didn't pick this. We came down to the bottom and we picked our full width slider. That's where that slider is going to live. Then we're not done here, because based on these choices, we only have one slider, which is true, main slider. We're going to make the height of this 320 pixels high, and I'm just going to pick my all-time favorite flex slider. Now, any of these other properties, to go there and change that, the only thing I want to share with you is that speed is in milliseconds, meaning that 1,000 milliseconds equals a second. So if you slept through 4th grade math class, 7,000 milliseconds is 7 seconds. 7,500 would be 7.5 seconds, etc., etc. So kind of play around with these properties here and get to know the program a little bit better, and that's something you can do in your practice time. Of course, if you really get stuck, then hey, reach out to me. Now, my All Access students also have available, they can contact me through Skype. So if you're not taking advantage of that, you certainly should. So I'm going to save that. Perfect. So now let's understand what we have. We have a slideshow. We have images in our slideshow, which resides inside of our library, by the way. And I save my slideshow widget and I save my layout. So therefore, if I go back up to my view site, then yes, I do. I have Houston, we have sliders. Now here's the super cool part. If I scroll this down, since this is responsive design, and this is something we'll talk about coming up in subsequent videos, you'll be able to have a responsive design that's going to work for iPad, iPhone. Now, I'm not talking about this where it resizes. In the Ultimatum theme, we can physically have different layout themes that respond to the person's browser. So if the person's logging on with an iPhone, it will automatically pull up the series of files. That's how the Ultimatum theme works. And that's what makes the Ultimatum theme so cool. And if you're not using it, you should definitely have it and use it. And if you need a coupon, simply contact me. All right, so here we have our salads. Okay, so the site's starting to look better, but there's still some work to do. So we need to fix this down at the bottom. Maybe we want to pull up information right here so the person can go right into buying. So let's understand how we can do that in our next video. Now, we still have our work cut out. So when somebody comes to here, to this website, I certainly don't want it to say home, sorry, no posts or criteria for this. So here's a simple way we can fix this. And what I'm about to share with you is really a WordPress thing. It's really nothing to do with Ultimatum. All WordPress themes kind of work the same way with what I'm about to share with you. So what I would do is go under Customize, and based on these choices, we want to have a static front page. We want to have a static front page that brings up our pizza menu because it's a pizza website. Now you can basically put other information down here, posts or snacks or whatever. We're just going to keep this really simple. This way you can do this in your practice and just have fun with it. So I'm going to save that change. So I'm going to close this menu. So therefore, if I go back to the site, automatically when somebody comes to the site, because guess what, we are selling pizzas, so that pizza menu is right there. Now these graphics have not been loading in, and of course that's something you do with your practice time. We're not going to go through every nook and cranny. But here's what I want to do, which is really kind of exciting. And this is what I want you to get excited about, working with the Ultimatum theme, and share with you how simple and how wonderful this theme is to basically do customization. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I come up here to pizza, okay, now pizza, keep in mind I have to luck out because pizza is my first slide, so that kind of makes sense. But maybe I want to come up with a series of pizza slides. You know, maybe pepperoni pizza, or Sicilian pizza, or flatbread pizza, whatever, pizza bagels. Who knows? Just go nuts. Now, I'm not going to go into detail and create new slides for that because I just shared with you how to do those slides. But what I am going to do is share with you how I can have different slideshow orders come up based on the pages, which is really kind of cool and a lot of fun. So let's understand we can do this. And it doesn't matter what steps you take first. I'm going to choose to just go into my back end, and I'm going to go to my slides again. So if I go to slideshows, okay, so here's my slider. Now main slider, now if you want to addendum that to say main slider pizza, that's up to you. So we're just going to make a new slider, and we're just going to call this slider pasta. Now if you want to call it pasta slider, that's totally up to you. We're going to add some images. We don't have to upload them because they're already in our menu. We're just going to select through there by holding down the shift key, and I'm going to select. Now, of course, if this is going to be my pasta, I would probably either want to have a series of pasta sliders, but to make this really simple, I just want pasta to come up first. So when I go to that target pasta page, say that 5 times fast, the pasta slideshow will come up, and I'm going to go ahead and publish that. Okay, we'll go back and add a new one, and let's do one for desserts. Now again, if you want to do a dessert slider to make it very, very specific, learning how to spell slider might be a good idea. So I'm going to say add, boy, I guess I can't spell it. I'm going to add that, again, go to my library again, and pick out the images that I want to include. Now again, I just want to give you an idea here. If you really want to take this to the next level, then you would basically have a whole series, maybe 4 or 5 pasta pictures and 4 or 5 dessert pictures, etc., etc. So since this is the dessert, of course, desserts would be on top, which it already is, and I'm going to publish that. The next one, of course, would be salads. So I go to add new, and I can just say salad slider. Okay, so it's all about production techniques, working smart. So I select these same graphics and select. And of course, salads is coming up first because I selected that first. Again, I selected it first when I clicked across here and publish that. Now, how does this help us? Well, let's understand something. When I go to my front end again, and I have my theme management layout, okay, here's my layout. Well, the layout is supporting the main slider. The main slider is supporting pizza. However, really cool stuff here. One of the things I can do with this amazing theme layout by Ultimatum is I can clone a layout. So I'm going to clone this layout. I'm going to edit this layout. And I'm just going to call this what it's going to be, which is going to be pasta. Now, this is a very good idea for anything, like if you want to go to a 3-column page or a 2-column page. The Ultimatum theme makes it really, really simple. I know there's a lot of other theme frameworks out there that say it's simple, but it's really not. It's a lot of hoop jumping. Sometimes you have to write code and hooks and everything else. This really is that simple. So if this is going to be the pasta layout, well, what slider do you think we're going to go to? The answer is desserts. Really? No, the answer is pasta. Now, if I didn't spell this consistently with uppercase, but hey, it's my course. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, make sure you save the changes, and come up here and save the layout. Okay, so let's go back to our layout screen and let's duplicate pasta. So I'm going to clone that. I'm going to edit that, and I simply need to change the word from pasta to desserts. And of course, we would come down here and select the dessert slider. Again, save the changes here, scroll up to the top, and save the layout. Now at this point, you know how to do this. I'm going to finish this up and I'll come right back. Now, back at our layout screen, we have our 4 layouts. Now this is our default layout because that's what we set up by default. If I want to set any of these others by default, I would click right here, but I don't need to do that. So here's the super cool part. If I now go over to my pages, okay, this is what makes this really cool. Pizza's already set up. Pizza's great. We already set up pizza correctly. So I want to edit the pasta page. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, well, the pasta page is going to bring up pasta. Of course it is, because we talked about this in previous classes, previous videos. So based on these choices over here, which layout do I want to bring up when I go to the pasta page? Well, I want to bring up the pasta layout that has the pasta slideshow. Very cool. That's all that's needed. Done. I now go back to all pages. I select my salads. I go to my salad edit. And I pick my salad layout. Now, I'm going to pause this video for a second and finish this up, because if you know how to do 2, you can do 3. I don't have to show you every little nuance here, and I'll be right back. So now, drum roll please, if I go to my website, because keep in mind this is a pizza website by default, that's what it is, but I'm not in the mood for pizza today, I'm in the mood for desserts. And boom, it brings up the desserts menu. And again, if you really want to do this the right way, you'd have a series of rotating dessert ads to get people enticed, etc., etc. Now, here's the super cool part. Because this is a separate layout, you can do all kinds of separate things here because it's a separate layout for my desserts page, which means maybe you want to have a dessert coupon. And that's something you could definitely do with the ultimatum theme. You can drag ads or coupons or put them wherever you want to. And in subsequent videos, I will share with you how to do the timed menu plugin inside of WP Pizza, which is part of the premium plugins. Let me share that with you. Okay, so if you want to take this seriously and be a real professional and squeeze the sponge on your clients and get the most you can out of them, which means that your site needs to have more bells and whistles. So we already have the ingredients installed, and I did videos on that to share with you how to do that. And also the postcard zip code, say that 5 times fast. The post zip code, which means that if you're going to deliver inside of a certain delivery area, maybe you're going to charge more for going outside that area, or maybe you're not going to include that area, and something called time menu. Now, I do have a bundle price where you get all 4 extensions, including the PayPal extension, for the 5-site license for a nominal fee. Again, this retails for about $220, $230 US dollars. It's in pounds. So if you need that, definitely contact me and I will help you out. I enjoy giving discounts on things to my students that support me. I like to support them. So let's go back here for a second. So this is really cool stuff. So we can do all kinds of wonderful things by targeting that particular page. And then that layout can have coupons or offers or deals or whatever you want to put for that particular page. So thank you for being here, and I will talk to you in the next video.